Hello there, my name's Thomas Asmuth. I'm here today to introduce this idea of intervention and culture jamming. I have 4 videos which explore the history and roots and then contemporary artists who are using these methods of intervention. Intervention. A great place to start, of course, is to go to your dictionary anytime you're looking for a definite understanding of a new process. And intervention, in its overall term, is anytime somebody inserts themselves into a situation to stop something. We see countries intervene with other countries when they invade them. We see friends intervene with people who need to separate themselves from some situation. But intervention's also an artistic strategy. So to this Apple dictionary definition, I'm going to add my number 2 definition. An artistic strategy that inserts artistic intent and artifacts into places or spaces which are outside the museum gallery complex, and thus gives artists access to broad non-art audiences. You probably recognize the end of that from the Tribanjena New Media Art book. Starting with the 20th century, we see an increase of these strategies. Artists start to question where and when does art show up. What is the necessity of art only existing in a museum or a gallery? In this slide, we have this interventionist technique called yarn bombing, where knitters make covers for things that wouldn't normally have a cover, such as this tank. The idea of yarn bombing owes and has, heritage with the other type of bombing that you may know about, graffiti. The roots of interventionist practice owe a lot to performance. And I'm not just talking about crazy artist performance of the 20th century, but I'm talking about those old techniques, the theater, ritual, these things that come from actually the beginning of Western civilization. In the 1700s, Denis Diderot, a French philosopher, writes about an idea in the theater, in performance, called the fourth wall. Now, the fourth wall is an imaginary structure, but Denis Diderot noticed that there is a separation between the audience and the performer. There's a separation between the audience and the art. And he writes pretty extensively at the end of the 1700s about the real transition in performance is going to be breaking down this fourth wall. That idea of breaking the fourth wall isn't that uncommon to us. We are very familiar with this idea of these screens intervening, right? Where the performer starts to recognize that they're being watched and they talk directly to the audience. I have found this cute little comic where the character reaches out of the frame of the comic strip, and she's actually reaching out and she's touching the inside of the glass of our monitor, recognizing we're there, trying to reach out through those mediating screens that we live through. Whether they're the glass screens of a computer monitor or that imaginary fourth wall. In the roots of this practice also are these ideas of pranks and culture jamming. Let's explore that a little bit here as a definition or a term that might shed some light on where these ideas of intervention come from. This slide's of a billboard that was altered by the Billboard Liberation Front. This one happens to be in San Francisco Mission. BLF is well known for going out and altering billboards to bring light to some untold story, reveal a hidden truth. In this case, BLF is commenting on the whistleblower case about the NSA having a listening station in the AT&T building on Mission Street, San Francisco. So they've come in and they've replaced the statement on these AT&T billboards. It would name several different cities after the comment, more places like, and they added in this comment about NSA headquarters. Or this sign from some prankster archivists in Austin, Texas, where they hacked into the road signs leading into downtown to warn the morning commuters about the zombie apocalypse. The term culture jamming actually comes from a Bay Area collage band. This band, named Negativland, was known for making sampled and collaged music from a multitude of sources. They're an avant-garde band who are very critical of the pop industry. In a very important song in their career, they take U2's song and merge it with outtakes from Casey Kasem having a very, very bad day during the recording of America's Top 40. Negativland's very, very critical of the pop music industry. They're very critical of the way commercialism is used. They're very critical of the sanitization of messages in commercial and pop culture. And by finding or receiving this outtake of Kasem having a meltdown, they're able to combine it with a U2 track and create something that tells the story about that criticism of that culture. Let's listen to the first 2 minutes of this song, and then I'll come back.
Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. That's the letter U and the numeral 2. The four-man band features Adam Clayton on bass, Larry Mullen on drums, Dave Evans, nicknamed The Edge, on... This is bullshit. Nobody cares. These guys are from England, and who gives a shit?
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot of wasted names that don't mean diddly shit.
For sure. You don't know where he's at. You don't know shit about him.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Sounds like it's portable, too.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
So, yeah, it is quality.
Diddly shit. Diddly shit. Diddly shit. Diddly shit.
Right.
Nobody cares.
It's getting stronger all the time here.
Snuggles.
Yeah.
Snuggles.
Oh, yeah.
Snuggles.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He was a little dog named Snuggles. This is American Top 40. This is American Top 40. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Fucking asshole. seconds to it.
Okay, so you can probably hear this, right? They've remixed the messages from Casey Kasem and U2. They've shown them in their not so pure and family friendly light. They've taken words and reorganized them to reconstruct new meanings from them. This is what Negativland's referring to when they talk about culture jam. They're talking about an idea that's related to radio jamming, which is a military technique, a military weapon to cut off communications. You jam the signal by putting out other things, putting out other signals. And this is how Negativland describes it. They're jamming culture. They think the messages are propagandistic, and so they reinvent them, and they create a new type of propaganda to jam the signal of culture. I think you can also look at a second reading of that idea of the jam being that jazz technique where lots of artists come together with an instrument, and there's no set script. They just make something. Very much like the idea of collage in a way. And I think there's something to be said because they're literally pulling from culture and then reorganizing it to create new sounds. The roots of culture jamming also relate to movements and things like the Air Pirate Funnies. This is a counterculture comic book that's started by Dan O'Neill. You see him here in the inset. Dan O'Neill and a group of artists take Mickey Mouse and they transform him into a hypersexual, drug-running outlaw. Quite a bit different than the Disney Mickey Mouse that we're very, very familiar with. Disney does end up suing Dan, and they continue to make these counterculture statements, these counterculture comic books that maybe reflect another part of the culture, not the sanitized Disney culture, but maybe a broader or a different reflection of culture that Dan and his collaborators saw. Later, after the suits, Dan also starts the Mouse Liberation Front, which is sort of a terrorist organization to liberate the image of Mickey Mouse from being that sanitized, safe Disney character. Okay, so we have the beginnings of culture jamming and intervention. This idea of taking culture and remixing it to tell a story, to tell a different type of story. We have this idea of getting past the fourth wall, the separation between artists and the audience, or art and the audience. In the next few slideshows, you're going to discover other facets, and we're going to see examples of both pretty recent and then contemporary artists who are using both these techniques.